I was just wondering how somebody would use your words as a reference to get across to somebody who's so deep in faith, who would see somebody like your words as a sign from the devil that this stuff doesn't work, and saying, how would you expect to get across to somebody who is just somebody you can't even talk to in that way because they don't even...
Okay. I don't expect to get through to most of them. If they've been taught since children that these things are real, and angels and devils and whatever under the earth and in the sky, all this nonsense. And it is nonsense. It's just pure nonsense. There's no question of it. It has no evidence to support it whatsoever, not a shred of evidence to support it. Those people are pretty well doomed. There's no way you're going to get to them. Except, I must say, every now and then, well, it happened just the other night in San Jose, California. I gave a talk there at a college, and one of the academics introduced me. He got to the microphone, he was going through the introduction, and then he stopped all of a sudden, stopped dead. This is a bit of an epiphany for me, I must say. And the tears started to come down his face. And he said, James Randi changed my life. He turned me around. He had belonged to a religious cult of some kind, and he was deeply involved in it. He freed me, and he went through this whole thing, and the audience was dead silent. I was rather frightened by the whole thing, frankly. It shows me the responsibility I have for these people to come through for them. But in most cases, people who are deeply religious and have been deeply religious since they were that high have no defense against this sort of thing because they don't dare express this to the family, or they're ostracized. They've lost their family, effectively. And that's not something that most people want to do, of course, or could stand to do. They lose the complete support that they've always had. There is no way of reaching a lot of these people. The best way is with kindness and trying to be understanding. And I've had that happen with one colleague that I knew since I was a kid. And by the age of 30, he came to me on an occasion and told me, yes, that he had turned around. And I don't think that he was, I think he was still a deist, but that's a big improvement over what he was, believe me. He was completely brainwashed in this direction. It does happen every now and then, but it's a very difficult thing, and I wish I could give you a more hopeful answer on that. Yes, on this side.
Hi, I'm usually, when I try to talk to people about this thing, they say, well, that's just those aren't true faith healers. Because my pastor, I have seen some amazing things. I've seen, my mother was cured, or they'll say some example of how one of their family members were cured because of their pastor. So, my question is, how do you show them that faith healers, there is no true Scotsman, because that's called the true Scotsman fallacy. There are no true Scotsmen. So, and what are the kinds of techniques that they use to make you believe that they are a true faith healer?
Well, one thing you can do is tell them that the James Randi Educational Foundation has $1 million prize. To anyone who can prove any of these things, don't go away. Don't go away. Young lady? Yeah. Would you come up on the stage and take a seat in this chair, please? This red chair? Would you? Please come up here. I'm going to give you a demonstration of one of the gimmicks that the faith healers use.
That some of the faith healers use, Peter Popoff always uses it, W.B. Grant. That doesn't have any other stuff. This is about it. I'm going to yield out the front here. I want you to try to stick both your legs up, and I'll hold your drag over my hand. Steady these days, all right? Just like this. Now, I want you to put your hands down to your sides. All right? Now, try to get your going these legs are not the right length. One is longer than the other. You see that? Look at the difference. We're going to vibrate your legs like this, and they're going to come around. And now, look at that, they're the same way. Hallelujah!